Okay, so we're starting the board portion of the meeting. It is 7:42. So I think Brian, I'll let you take it away. We've got the treasurer's report, emails received, and fundraising.
Yeah, I think the treasurer report, there's nothing to say here, other than what it didn't do was because I thought we could have a discussion. Typically, you know, end of June is kind of when we start reporting our year finances. So this is kind of the snapshot of everything last year. Um, and so if you look at it, we're really at about $1,500 that we spent.
Yeah,
And we took in, we got 500 from the district aid office, plus we get 3,000 from MCA
when does that usually?
in June.
Okay,
So I talked to Diane and she said we should be getting it sometime in June.
Okay.
That's why I reached out, is because I wanted to update my address and everything. So 3,000. So we have budget to spend, or just haven't spent it. So what I would say is typically what we do is we go to the August meeting and we say committees, uh, come in with budget requests and we put a budget together from that and approve it in September. What we have said is the committees can spend up to, did we say
50.
50 per committee? Obviously, you can see that, we spent,
We've drawn nothing down.
yeah, nothing really too substantial. Um, so, we've talked about some things, but what I would say here is, at one point we were in a situation where we didn't have money coming in. We've done a really good job with the mini golf the last couple of years, and the fact that the MCA continues to give us the money and we haven't spent all of that.
Mhm.
So I think we need to keep that in check as we talk
Yeah.
about other things to do as we go through it. What I want to remind people is last year we got about $2,500 from the mini golf tournament. Wow. So if you think about it, that we've built up we continue to build up our reserves. And those mini golf sponsors, which was a big chunk of the money, are the ones that take up 50% of the space on our newsletter. But while we need to either stop giving them free,
Yeah.
Or we need to go back to them and say, hey, if you want to do it, we would, ask you to, and originally I had talked to Diane about what is the MCA charge. Obviously, the MCA has 30,000 people on their email list. We have 10.
Yeah.
Um, of that 10, I would say, a chunk of them are probably people, they get it, but they might not be in the neighborhood anymore. MCA keeps their list current. Um, and so I just threw some numbers out here that what the plan was, go to the people that sponsored the golf tournament. And there were like 20.
Yeah, it's about 20.
About 20 people, and ask them. And then also, I haven't done it, but I was going to go to Haley and ask if we could send something out to the CPBA members um, to see if they were interested in either a single month or getting on to our emails. I wasn't putting a lot of pressure because I think, the summer there's not as much, but once we get into it, we would hopefully have something for the fall. So that was my idea. I'm not set on the 250 or the 50, but the way I look at it is I don't think $250 is a lot to ask to give somebody or 24 emails where they have click through to their business. Um, we have stats from MailChimp, what the click rate is. Ironically, my husband gets the email and he clicks on every week, just because he knows,
Thank you, Matt.
and I don't even work, but that's their stats we can give them. But if anybody asks,
Yeah.
we can give them click through rates
On links. Yeah, we can do that.
So I mean, and again, I haven't started any of this because I wanted to have a conversation with the board. We don't need the money, but I think just dropping all of those businesses off of it are probably leaving money on the table.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like just like a handful of businesses and keeping like that connection. So is good.
So,
It's not that much.
Like a little more than $10. Like,
Organization and get your name out there. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
low investment for this.
well, you got that, and then I'll let you know. We're not reaching out.
Yeah, I think if you like, prepare an email and ask her if she could
sure.
include it in theirs next, because they do a similar distribution as well monthly or something.
And I had some other, I'm gonna hit everybody up because I'm now involved in as retirement, also involved in Special Olympics. And so I was gonna reach out to Haley about some of these special
That's great.
So if you all want to sponsor either the plane pool or the Hall of Fame, you'll get, to trying to raise money.
Yeah. Send it out. Do you need the email addresses for all of the sponsors? Okay, I have them in a spreadsheet, so I'll just see. Okay.
And then and I think, we'll give feedback, but then it also does put a little bit more on to David with the newsletter that it's not just, click and run. Yeah. If somebody wants to just do one email, it's different, but hopefully.
But he's already kind of tracking that with the events stuff that he. Oh, that would be, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be 2. Yeah,
Yeah, we can do
I think that sounds good.
Good.
All right.
A page on the website of,
Oh, thank you to our sponsors.
yeah,
We could probably put that on like the homepage.
yeah,
So that,
little blue,
yeah,
the logos. Just add that.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
you can put click through.
Like link to like through the logos.
Yeah, we could, either add it to the about or the resources, but we could, that would be easy to do.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's all I had.
Oh, just
yeah, I think just so you guys know, Liz, this is, and I'm saying this for the recording more than I am the people around the table. I send you guys a lot of emails every month. There is some filter in that, but I try not to filter it because someone could have, like, at one point, one of the emails we get every week is the city council schedule. And I used to not forward that. And then I said something to Liz and it's like, oh, that's really good. I really, and so I try not to filter.
the sicko who likes like the agenda.
I mean, let her read this.
Yeah,
Except for
but the key is that it does. And so what Liz and I talked about doing is just kind of giving a recap of some of the unique emails that we get. And that is a couple of things. The franchise agreement is still moving forward. We still keep getting pestered by Excel to make sure there's a R&O meeting next week at 5:30 on the 24th.
That's the full board.
We did.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and the way I know that is you could go into the Google group and it shows all of the emails that were sent to the Google group. So I know that those, and there's not any that I didn't send.
Is anybody going to that, by the way? Sorry.
It's
It's a Zoom. Zoom.
I'm assuming Carol. Um, yeah, it's a week before the primary, so nobody will be there, but I'm assuming if Bennett is, if Bennett gets the governor,
Oh. I won't even say it.
I'm just saying, if he does, I think that'll, that would be a different dynamic if that, I've already made my decision. I think if
We're a C3.
I was gonna say, talk about it after the meeting.
the recreation center strategic planning effort, there was a series of meetings you guys had to email. The Denver Days Back to School Fest, and then the other one was Coffee with the Clerk is this week at the Whittier Cafe. Again, just things to keep. And then so as we go forward, this will just be something we have.
Yeah.
Just something.
Yeah, I think it's. So I kind of divided up, so we're gonna talk about different events or initiatives that we'd like to support over the next board year. And so I just kind of, my organizing principle was like, what is near term and what is longer term? So summer events, coming out of the bike safety panel, we reached which again for the recording, if any or anybody who doesn't know, that's like Northeast Transportation Connections. To partner with them on tabling to do outreach on pedestrian and bike safety at the MCA events. Diane Dieter let me know, well, first Nick at NETC sent me the dates that they are available. He still needs to solidify it, but those were the ones that I are pretty much going to hold, and he needs to confirm them that they'll hold. June 25th, which is next Thursday, there's a concert. July 16th is also a concert. Those are the concerts and movies are the most well-attended events in the neighborhood. And so, and the August 14th event is a movie. I reached out to Diane Dieter. She's happy to give us space for an outreach table. So we just need, I would say, 2 volunteers for each event. To do that, I actually have, so there's a one pager that Amy and Carol have been working on basically summarizing some of the information that was at that e-bike panel. For some reason, we have this big pile of things from like it's a whole bunch of flyers, which includes actually a flyer that is about e-bike safety. And well, bike to work day will be after that, but there's also information on e-bike safety. And I think that that outreach table could also just have kind of general email sign up and information about CPUN. Anyway, so I don't know if anybody at this, like right here.
Should we create a QR code
Oh, I've got that.
to just, instead of having to put something down,
I've got a flyer with the QR code
for it takes it to the
for
page?
them to just sign up on the MailChimp, yeah. So so we have that. So I have, and as I think Matt and Taylor have seen, I've got a little go bag of outreach materials and a tablecloth and a folding table and folding chairs. So I am not available next Thursday, but anybody who is able to volunteer, I can give you all of those materials and then connect folks with Nick at NETC just to have that ready to go. So I don't know if anybody at this table is available. Okay. And then we can just get one other person.
I can't do next week, but I can do the other 2 days.
Okay,
So for now, I'll sign up for the 16th.
okay,
August 14th. Sure.
okay. So let me do this. So 6:25. and we need one more person, and then 7, 16.
It's a, what time does the event start? Like 6 or something?
Yeah, I would need to find out what time, like,
Just
tabling
Placeholder on here.
starts.
Information earlier. Just like everything else.
Did anybody else, Matt? So are you the only one for 7, 16? Okay. And then, 8:14 is Tommy and Heather. Okay. Great.
If it's on the north or south green.
I'm pulling up
I was gonna say, you can,
I will say that with movies, I think that it's important to be there early because
Exactly.
people email around before the movie starts.
yeah, 'cause they're gonna set up their blankets.
Yeah, they might go to the bathroom or they're gonna snack, but they're not gonna sit and chat.
the 25th of June is in the North Green. Right? The 16th is at the North Green.
And it's at 6:30, is that?
6:30 to 8:30 is what it says. And the movies are later too, just and the
Jan's right.
14th is the South Green and the East is 8:45 to 2. Shrek. Yeah, 8:45.
Yeah. You're like, I think I'm ready for bed.
Still, she'll be there. You can, I mean, you can like break up the table
8:45.
after the movie starts. I think.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
too. It's like,
The
what's that movie start?
movies, that's like a drive-in. 8:45 is barely dark.
So I guess we have to get there earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be there.
7:45.
I think we can ask, it's not Diane, it's the person who manages, kind of Diane who manages the program. She connected me with to get her name, but we can find out from her the logistics of like what is the best like setup time, and also just kind of like with the other folks that take these events.
And the July that's a concert.
Yes, yeah. So, okay,
Local, like, it's pretty well, as you said, like my family, the kids love concerts.
well, it's great.
So if you get there late, like you can't even find a spot at all.
Exactly.
Can't been with
Yeah.
people.
On
Food trucks are
I
there.
one photo.
Just think he's getting swag. Anything. They throw around or play with their sticker.
That's the
Just like candy or water bottles or something like that. Like I've tabled before.
The dogs.
So, but yeah, I think that, so Brian, we'll, reach out to the other folks who aren't here to see if we can get somebody for you next week, and then I will get the materials to you and I think we should have.
Tell me where.
Okay, that sounds good. And so then the other follow-up and kind of what I'm trying to do is that our events and what we want to get involved with are like kind of naturally come out of what we've discussed at our meetings. And so we have the Waterwise landscaping with Beth Lewis. She is interested in doing a walking tour of like her garden and then other landscaping places north of I-70 that are really like very good examples of native plantings. And so she proposed, I think it's too soon. She proposed the 24th, but also July 8th. And I responded and just said, do you have any later July and August also? Like just on, depending on people's availability, but just kind of keep that on your radar. But
those are both weekdays.
yes. I think,
Early evening or morning.
they are they Wednesdays?
July.
Okay. Yeah.
24th is also a Wednesday.
Yeah. So yeah, they're Wednesday evenings. To, I guess like,
That's fine.
okay. And that's, I mean, that would be something that we would also like share out in the newsletter. But I think the 8th is probably a good one. So that's just mostly just like spread in your network, show up if you want. And I think part of it is just to, continue to like build like community conversations and all. I mean, Beth, as you said, is really passionate about this. So I think,
Stuff is beautiful.
yeah,
I'm literally across the street, so I get to see all
Oh,
the
that's awesome.
stuff she does.
that's great. And so then we also have kind of things coming up, late summer, fall, and into the winter. So Heather, you want to talk about the community survey?
So we haven't done it since early 2025, so we are due. We can talk about timing. This last go around, we used Google Forms, which is free, which is really key. But it's pretty limiting because there's not really great analyses tools. I know that we don't have Amanda on the board who's previously doing all the analyses. It'd be nicer to have another tool that can just do that.
You should, yeah, Amanda would probably just help if,
I think.
I know, I mean, I can ask her, I know Mark, not so much, but Amanda, yes. So
Are so very subvert.
he is.
Well, even so, I think it would be easier for her time, even if she does help, to have something like SurveyMonkey, because then we can just export it out. But that being said, we have to pay for it. So it's cheapest to do like their annual plan.
Do you want to share your screen at all? If you,
Oh, let's see, I'd have to get off meeting. Yeah.
or I can stop sharing.
It's so funny that it sounds like fan, and it's that fan. Where it
Yeah.
just keeps coming.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that you're not.
I'm
sorry.
getting on. Share some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that we could use SurveyMonkey for, so that it's not just kind of like a one shot. Like,
Sorry,
so now, like, how are we doing? And everybody's like,
think, you know, if ad hoc things, absolutely.
yeah,
If I share with my art, my inner mind, the survey right, was intended to help give us feedback on the community that would drive what we do as an organization. That kind of has become harder to do, my personal opinion. But I think that, you know, little mini surveys, the problem is that do you get meaningful response on people that are agitated about the issue?
well, there's like the response bias of like folks motivated to respond. But I think that, I mean, I think that there have been like some useful things actually are just in terms of finding out what sort of organizations and events or kind of what ways do people volunteer their time was one big question, and kind of people are really involved in their schools was one of the takeaways from that, and also in a number of other, you know, attending performances and events anyway. And the other piece of it was knowing that people are less likely to come to a meeting like this than they are to a discussion, or, you know, so just in terms of like understanding how we approach the community is really important.
I think we do get on response. No, they don't have like a lot long, lengthy open-ended responses. So
Yeah.
no. Yeah, if we can get the nonprofit discount, which is 25%, then that's 350 for the year. And then we could use it across events.
The other thing we could potentially do is if there were other organizations, just
Share the cost with other.
not even share a system, just offer it to
It says.
just
Yeah.
list.
I think that would,
They would have to be nonprofits, but
yeah.
you know,
I just, but, well,
And they'd have access to our survey.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't know, how does it get sent out? Like, who does it go to? Like, if
I don't know, but we can use the foundation.
everybody, I'm just saying, like, if we lent it to somebody else, are they gonna have all of our
Yes.
survey respondents in
Yeah,
there when they go and do it? Like, it seems like
that would be a problem.
they could survey the same group, but they couldn't, We wouldn't want to survey like the East Colfax RNO necessarily.
Well, I wasn't, I was thinking within Central Park, yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to sharing. It could get complicated, but
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
not my problem.
But I mean, previously we did use SurveyMonkey for the survey, and it was that we used the account that the Foundation for Sustainable Urban Neighborhoods had. So we piggybacked on their account, and I can kind of look through my emails of like, how did this actually, like, how did this work? But I mean, we were on the receiving end of like, being able to use someone's account before.
And I see you have translation on there for Spanish language. And I think
Yeah, I think that's like a super rough estimate. It'll be based off of how long it ends up being,
How many words?
how many words it is. So that would be about $350 for the software if we can get the nonprofit discount, $350 for language translation. And then I was going to ask for a little bit increased budget, and I mean, if folks feel like we should go higher than that, but to do $50 gift cards instead of Amazon for Central Park restaurants. And like maybe there's a sponsorship something in there. I don't know.
Could, I mean, you could also do what's the gift cards that are,
Like a Visa gift card.
oh, that's a basic gift card. There's a restaurant. I will come back to you.
Okay.
There's an organization that basically loans money to restaurants and they participate in the gift card, and then the proceeds when somebody uses it, it actually is the restaurant gets a part of it, but the restaurant also gets to pay back the pay back.
In kind.
Yeah, in kind. That's what I was thinking. I know, lady.
We could also like say like, like, because we don't have to purchase the gift cards until we've identified the person, the recipient, and we can say, you know, a choice of like these four such businesses. And
I like
then,
that.
and do that. So yeah, so that we don't have to anticipate too much.
Yeah.
So, okay, we don't have quorum, so we can't vote on this, but I think this is reasonable.
Yeah.
Also.
Um, Okay, well, I think that this is the discussion of the budget impact, but I think we should also talk about the timing and about how many folks you would want supported, like working on the survey with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with the election in November, that's not a great time.
Yeah,
And so by that, I feel like we should wait till the new year.
till January.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty all.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like late January.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's fine.
And then
That
maybe-
kind of is about like, that'll be 2 years from the last time we asked it, so I think that
Okay.
makes sense.
Semi-annual survey.
And then kind of working backwards, I guess. Where do you want to, like, I guess, like, where would you like to be in terms of developing the questions? Because I know you wanted to kind of change up
Oh, yeah.
the things we asked
Um,
and streamline.
I can draft the survey. I mean, I can bring in like what we did last year. I think there's a lot we can probably remove. Actually, no, there is because I looked at it,
I
but
was gonna say, it's to create, so you don't create duplicate effort. Is there a way that we can wait till next month? Get the Survey Monkey, so you only have to do it once.
Yeah.
That would be,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think, did you want to have like
or
maybe
we could do it.
a draft by like, you know, end of August or something like that, so that it's not, you know, you,
We can do email.
an email vote on the budget.
On this part of it.
Yes, yeah. So, okay.
August meeting to have people look at your draft.
Do we say no more than $1,000 for the survey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the translation doesn't come in
We can all,
markedly off, but yeah.
The phrasing is really
it's the same.
For I see English very short and very concise, and then Spanish always has exceptions, but
Yeah.
like. Okay, I just need to make a list of what we need to do an email vote on, so,
I think, I think we limit it to this for right now,
okay,
since we're not gonna have a July meeting.
yeah, so community survey,
Yeah, I think I can have a draft by the August meeting.
okay.
we don't necessarily have to, you're not talking about reviewing it at the meeting now.
No,
I don't know if you wanted that.
No, it's just a long thing. I
Okay.
just feel like
Yeah.
a smaller group needs.
That's fine.
The
Okay.
draft is to be reviewed in August. Why would we read into it? So the timing,
because we have the midterm elections, are gonna happen in November. And I think there's just a lot of people's like mental bandwidth, it's a long survey, it's just kind of like, you ask
I
people.
think
like,
election seasons have people more, I don't know, informed.
Yeah,
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 I don't know. I mean, maybe they are.
send out a survey monkey asking.
When's the survey?
Survey monkey about the survey, like, would you prefer to fill out a survey in November or in January?
Well, if we do the candidate and issues forum, we can.
Oh, that actually would be excellent, like, that actually would be a great idea, because those are our best attended events.
Yeah.
Are related,
Yes.
election related.
They're already like my thoughts, opinions.
Yeah.
Matter.
Got shit to say,
Yeah, I have stuff to say.
okay.
Okay, well maybe. Yeah, maybe. We
Okay.
can
I don't want to rush you. I know this is an exhausting effort, but if you have something ready to look at in August, I don't think we should wait till January.
Okay.
Well, I think that's always, well, having done one survey, that is the hardest part, I think, is like getting agreement on the questions, but there are other people not in the mix anymore, so,
I think that's, I was just gonna say, it's been a lot of brain power on trying not to make
yes.
questions biased. And I think while that's good, I don't say that we make it biased, but I think there was a lot of money shared into there.
Yeah, I think a pragmatic view is want the information so that it can be actionable to the group and that we can share it with various constituencies and agencies. And I think that's needed for, I don't know how much we need it for, like, is there a p-value on this response? Like, and that's just my thought for this specific survey, but
I think the one thing I haven't, so two things. One is comparability between surveys. And I
Yeah.
know that that's part of it, right? Just don't lose sight of some questions.
Yeah.
Do provide comparability. And the other one is we need to use MCA as much as we can to get it in here,
Yes.
you know, because that would drive response if we have.
It's the school weekly events, so.
yeah, I think a lot of the background questions keep in general, but I think there's been a lot of ones that we ask over and over, like about development, about traffic, about busing. Like, I think we need to do those issues. I think are I don't know, super relevant they are anymore. Or we've done all that we can.
Well, I was gonna say, and we've acted on
We've acted on it because
several, yeah,
I think we have to be careful though, because if you go back 20 years, traffic comes and goes, schools come and go. We had the question last month about education, oh, we're putting in all these apartments. Do we have enough seats in
right.
the school?
yeah,
That, there's different flavors around it. But
yeah,
I think those core things, I think the one is around, the development. We don't need to ask, do you want more students? Because we know people do. We know that it's not.
basically.
And the
It's like-
grocery stores are coming in. That was the number one thing. So grocery
You have two like interstate exits, like what gets pushed
Right.
is not gonna, so, yeah,
Cracker Barrel.
yeah. No, so I think that actually is a way of looking and kind of vetting some of the questions. So around the schools, they are like DPS, like the DPS board is looking at redoing the districts. And so having a question about, because, you know, basically over like the last 15 years, all the population in Denver has moved east. And we're part of like where a lot of the population has gotten denser as opposed to thinner. And so they're going to be doing redistricting for the school districts. And so having a question that can be useful in kind of gauging community sentiment around that, as opposed to like a generic question about the school.
Yeah.
We always had a question about,
Yeah.
you know, costing. There's a costing. Yeah, it's, you know, if you live north, it's really close. You know,
I feel like the education, we still obviously want to get people's opinions about education, but I feel like DPS is obviously determined that enrollment is declining, not increasing. And so, you know, more students would be welcome if anything, but you know, because there's a vacant lot right up here.
Yeah.
Belongs to DPS and they're like, we don't need another school. So,
You can also find out how many of you send your kids to public schools versus like private schools.
Yes. I think I remember when my kid was starting out in elementary
Find out.
school, it was like, you know, the cohort for like that like 5-year period was like above average for the number of students entering elementary school. And as the, you know, the neighborhood was adding schools, but was still like growing, like outpacing that, or appeared that that was a concern. I just feel like that, and of course my kid's going into 11th grade, so I don't care now, but I just don't, I feel like it's not as much of an issue even for the younger families that
Yeah.
capacity is an issue where you're not going to get your first choice when you do high school choice.
I would disagree with that because my neighbor has a kid that's going into kindergarten. And she asked me like 5 questions about it when she found out that I was on CPUN. Like, you know,
Yeah, no, I think we should
and,
get
and,
people that.
and I mean, I think a lot of her questions were around the quality of the schools, which I would never profess to even care about. But and I don't think we need to get into, you know, which school, which you rate.
So related to that, I had thought we could ask something. If you have kids, do they go to Central Park schools or schools outside of elementary or outside of Central Park, or are they homeschooled? And then I was gonna put some question about the new cell phone ban in schools. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
that would be,
Um,
I just feel
the
like we,
quality of Central Park schools influence your decision to move to the neighborhood.
I just felt like
I
a
think-
couple of years ago,
You know?
there were so many questions about school and then just
Uh,
trying to like figure out like exactly what ages and grades people had it. I'm like, some people have no kids and they don't want a bunch of education questions. So, and you can skip ahead a little bit and some of
Have
the,
skip logic
Yeah.
with this, which would be nice.
some of the responses don't trigger questions.
Yeah.
Do you have kids in school? You may still have attitudes about it. So obviously like a delicate situation of how you apply those questions. Yeah, I felt like there were so many questions about it. And I know part of it was because the foundation for sustainable urban communities. I think we can fair them.
Would it be worth connecting with the school board to see if they have something they'd want us to ask? Because Monica Hunter was here last time, right?
Yeah.
She was.
ask like, is there like a particular question you'd be interested in?
Or even if, you know, if we have I think it's helpful to try to stay in contact with whoever from the schools is likely to respond. Just about it, you know, when we want them to put stuff in their school emails and,
Yeah.
you know, just to like keep them apprised. So yeah, I think that would be a good idea to say, hey, we're doing a survey. There's a section on education. Is there any one thing that you want to
Yeah.
include? That you think should be or survey?
Even Chantel's
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
or the, you know, state
Oh,
Let's see.
yes, yeah,
Why can't I Lindsay here.
Jennifer
Jennifer
Beacon,
Beacon for-
yeah. So,
Coleman might have something.
yeah. So, okay, I think that kind of aiming for getting the software and like voting on that. And then having, I guess, well, anyway, I think Heather, be honest also about capacity. Because I know you take on a lot. But I think like if you want to aim for August and having the draft, with releasing and with the idea of releasing it in November.
Yeah, I think that can work.
The other thing is actually, well, yeah, election day is the first Tuesday in November.
Yeah.
Most people will have already, like a lot of people vote before then, so.
I was gonna say, are we gonna do a forum, do you think?
So actually, that is another, that actually, so you're right, actually, that would be in October.
I'll be ready for that.
Probably, yeah, October would be when we would like for that meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm caught, since we now will have an at-large election, since Councilmember Parity, is resigning, I think we should do what we can to have candidates speak at the October meeting. And then there's a bunch of ballot issues, including the franchise agreement. That'll be, so,
Be a long meeting.
yeah. I cried tonight, like, it's mine. That. I know, it takes about more. So, okay, we have about 6 minutes left. I think the other thing we wanted to talk about, I think we can, well, Heather, you had wanted to provide more information on the longer tables event. And I think that either that or like the pickleballs and like pickleball and wellness thing, I think we should just kind of have one event in the fall to shoot for. So if you wanted to talk about the long tables.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was gonna share the thing. So or folks saw the longer tables email I sent. Last year they did an event down in Civic Center. They do like set up all these tables and it's just like a huge community. It was a lunch. So for the 150th anniversary of Colorado, they want to do like multiple 150 different events across the state. So you can sign up to host one of these. And there's basically what they're calling like 10 commitments. Not anything like super crazy, but there's a fee to host, which is $750. They encourage you to ask for sponsors or partners to cover the food. They don't explicitly say potluck, but
So it's a fee on top of the catering and any other organizations. Okay.
it's a fee, like a payment to longer tables.
I guess like what does that get you?
You get guides on how to run it, like how to set it up, conversation prompts to put at the tables to get discussing, which is mostly like oriented, get to know who else is there. They give you branding and promotional materials and templates. They have meetings so you can talk to other organizers that are doing it, and really fun surprises. Give you like the conversation topics. Basically the only rules is they ask people like no job talk. It's not like don't come be like a sales pitch. They give you a big poster to put up. What else? It has to be between May and November. So that would be maybe tricky. And no round table. You have to do long, continuous table. Which can also be tricky.
Did you take part in the one that they had?
That's I wanted to go.
I think David might have.
Yeah. We talked about that.
That's kind of, yeah.
You have U-shaped.
I was thinking that I was like, could we snake it around the room? Yeah, good question. Or I was like, could we bring these out and put them along the
Green.
Valentia, like along the sidewalk there?
Concert nights. Start,
Oh yeah.
have a crowd for
Yeah. I think you want people to like sign up or register to come, is my understanding. So I don't know. We know we talked about trying to do more community connection events. Uh, I don't think this will be the only opportunity that come for the longer table. So if it doesn't work this year, we can look for the next thing, but kind of a fun opportunity. So yeah, 750 plus or minus food, depending on how we handle that. If MCA would let us use tables, then
What if we did a brown, like a brown bag, bring your own.
BYO.
Everybody gets what they want.
Well, you could do a community potluck. Well, I mean, to be honest, like East Colfax does a community potluck every year for the December meeting or something. So, it does not necessarily have to be mediated through tables, but I guess it is useful to kind of have a kind of principle around something.
But combined with the survey, which also has to get out before November.
Yeah. And candidate for October. I feel like
It might be.
I just feel like we would need somebody who had at least been to, I know you've been to one, but just or was involved in organizing
Aware
it,
of-
just had a better sense of here's what we need to do,
Yeah,
starting next week.
because it's hard to conceptualize how many man hours we'll have to go
Exactly,
into this.
song.
Oh.
It sounds cool, but I feel like it's a lot of enthusiastic.
Yes, if that $750 got us an event planner, that'd be great. It doesn't sound like it does.
yeah, unclear what exactly that is or what the 750.
Licensing the branding.
Yeah, I guess so. It's basically a donation to their organization, I think.
Do they have all the events?
They just added a map, but it's not clickable, so I can't see who's
Yeah, I mean, if we had if Carmela's and Lady Nomada wanted to sponsor and get involved, then
Yeah,
and we sort of had the food equation, and then it was just going to be, well, you can register, please donate, whatever you can,
Yeah.
$25 or something like that, and then you could sort of defray some of the costs and have some actual expertise
yeah.
involved, and then we could all volunteer to serve or clean up. Or
Yeah.
but
I think those two problem I see with those restaurants is they're not equipped to do big events. And so,
you're right.
so I mean, we probably have to have multiple, depending on
Chipotle.
That was what they did last year, the mile-long table. We're calling
Was it really well?
Can
it.
you pass
Emotionally was mile.
Emotionally smile. I mean, I think that it would be an interesting. I don't think I will say I don't think we have the capacity to get something like this done before. Yeah. And if it is an outdoor thing, honestly, it needs to be September.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have to be much earlier than this, which is the variability of the weather, even though it doesn't seem like we have revenue triggering.
Yeah.
So
Next time.
So yeah, I think next time I feel like I would also be interested in talking to the other organizations because it seems like the sort of event that
Yeah.
that it would be nice to actually have kind of a cross section of different neighbor. I mean, actually, it also would be great because Central Park is really big and there's a lot of folks who are not connected with each other within our neighborhood. But I also can see kind of the cross neighborhood connections.
Another thing out, so
Sure.
I'm a delegate on the MCA, and so I've met with other delegates and board members about MCA related issues, and one of the issues is that people don't know what the delegates are, who they are, what they do, and some districts don't have a delegate representative at all. So we're trying to get more people to engage, to know what's going on, and volunteer to do that. And the MCA has an annual meeting in November, December. And it's really boring and nobody shows up. And it's been the same forever.
Did when it was the name change issue.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, one thought would be, you mentioned a potluck. And I've suggested that we try, and I think there usually is some, not really catering, but there's some like light snacks and drinks
Yeah.
for the annual meeting. But to do more of that and to get more community partners involved, including, CPUN could be kind of part of that too, bringing people in to, the MCA is an important thing. Like Brian was saying, $10 million annual budget, it's a lot of money that's being spent. It's a little bit from everybody, but it adds up to, a whopper of an annual budget. So, and then, so that could be something that we could do in conjunction with MCA to try to, like the point of the meeting is in part to elect delegates and things like that, but also just to say like, this is how decisions are made about how to spend this money, basically.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'll just decide on it now. I just wanted to throw it out there because in other discussions, people have mentioned, the success of CPUN, of attendance at meetings and engagement with the community.
This one notwithstanding.
Yeah. And it has to do with the topics and just, the way it's all put together and just people's interest in finding out
Yeah.
what's going on. So anyway,
Right. And planner. My thought exactly.
To the MCA.
MCA.
Well, I was gonna say like the MCA has the capacity and the staff for something like the do these things.
You guys want to do a
It feels like, I don't know if you wanted to talk about it in the meeting tomorrow,
yeah,
but it does feel like,
yeah.
it feels like the scale of an event that like the MCA could.
Yeah. And I think there would be, organizations, businesses that would be willing to sponsor
Yeah.
and participate if we were going to do it. So yeah, that could be a good, mashup, collab type situation. So, yeah.
CPUN MCA collab. So, okay. I think I think that's good. It is after 8:30. So I am just wondering, let's see, what else did we have on here? So pickleball, Tommy, did you want to talk about that at all?
Timing, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Trisha
I mean, that's-
into it. I mean, she seems to think that it'll be a lot easier for us in the summertime, in the warmer months when people are playing outdoors still, and then they get busy in the winter. But with enough notice, I'm confident we can secure whatever we need. So really, I think it's just a timing issue. Figure out if we want to do it, just commit, lock it in.
What would the cost be again?
I didn't put on my negotiation hat in this conversation, Trisha, but I think
That's okay.
$35 an hour is what she charges nonprofits for like a court. And I'm thinking like a few months, maybe
Yeah.
a couple hours or a few hours of bus, I'm not sure. But I feel like if I would have pushed back on that, we probably could have gotten a bit of a discount, and she knows us. I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little premature for that, but around 35 an hour. I
Okay.
think it's probably more.
And then we would have some sort of because it largely would be like use of the courts and an instructor for
They
folks who
have,
want
yeah,
to
they
pick
got
it up.
professional instructors, coaches there, and I think she would absolutely commit one of these people to, an introductory course or just sort of basics or, anyone who's unacquainted with the game could be shown the ropes, I think, by one of her pros over there.
Do you think that's something that we could pull something together by September or so?
Oh, yeah,
Is that-
I think so, for sure.
September.
And then I'm not sure, I think that she was the one who suggested in a message to you, like having some sort of like wellness.
Yeah,
Resource fair.
right. A lot of people ask
Yeah.
to set up there and promote their services,
Yeah,
whatever they're offering, and partner with me or two of those. It's not a huge space, but yeah, she threw it out there. I could dig into that
yeah,
specific ideas that she might have of people, asking her to do those things.
yeah, I think that would be good, and there's probably also like some city, depending on kind of like the ages of folks, like I think like there's like outreach from different city agencies, like dental human services, aging or something like there's, I think like it's an activity that some folks in the community, I mean, just don't ages. So, okay. And then there's the balcony solar project. Which is, I think that like that is like a like
That has to wait.
that has to wait, or we could ask, I know John had expressed some interest in that and just seeing if that's something that he, Daryl could kind of, because it's largely just exploring like what actually is possible. Like what is possible, and then I mean honestly, like the Survey Monkey is a good way. Like, and then what sort of stakeholdering and outreach would we need to do to find out like the interest of folks in you know multifamily units in Central Park, and which market rate or the income restricted or like what would something like that look like? But basically all of this is aiming towards like the city had some money for granting, like for grants, and that was one idea, but the timeline for it, like applying for the grants, you kind of had to be ready to just like jump on it by I think the end of May. And so this idea is just kind of exploring and looking at like laying the groundwork to be able to apply for a grant if this comes up again in the next budget cycle. So, but yeah, we can table that discussion for another time.
To your point about the other agencies that might want to go to the pickleball event, is it worth doing like an older adults pickleball event, like specific? Because I don't know, versus like this is a family one and this is like an older adults one.
And that's a great idea, but I wanted to be as inclusive as possible in terms like I just don't want no one to show up to this thing. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say I don't even
Do it
know
every-
show up like this.
sense. I mean, to put some structure in there, maybe. I mean, I don't know if you do by age necessarily, but like skill level or experience, like if you know what I mean, something that might.
Beginners.
You don't want people that have never held the title out there with people who take it way too seriously.
I was gonna say I feel like if we kind of like gauge it toward beginners,
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
probably be
I think that
Good.
makes sense.
yeah.
And I don't know how they set it up. No. I mean, it could be fun if there are two courts to have one court for learning and one court for
Oh,
playing.
absolutely.
And we
Yeah.
have some kind of like ladder thing set up that you just get assigned a partner or something like that. When you could sort of self-assess, like, how skilled you feel you are. And then, and you could just have quick, I don't know what you usually, play to four or whatever they are, but
Yeah, right. Like have like a little like tournament
Yeah.
or like you say a
Yeah.
ladder or whatever to if you're interested after you learn the game, if you want to go and
Yeah.
compete with a partner. Yeah, that's
you already kind of know how to play. You can go sign up to play doubles. And if you want to get some more practice, as instructor. So
we could talk to Trish about that too. I'm sure they've got some.
yeah, they must have some kind
Yeah,
of structure.
they have to. So sure they've done plenty of tournaments.
Yeah.
Are they one of our sponsors?
They're not.
'Cause that could be the trade-off. Give us 4 courts,
A year
Yeah,
of
actually.
advertising.
people per court,
Yeah,
unless you kind of rotate in. So it's a thought.
there we go.
Could you, I think if you wanted to, I guess, waiting until the third week in August, like, is probably like a little too late. Like, we would need to start promoting it by then. So I guess if we can touch base like in July, and just kind of see like what information you have and what support we would need to kind of move it.
Last thing from you, I guess, in terms of like timing in September. In September, in my head, that's
Yeah. Yeah, the 19th is Saturday, I think. Like the 12th. I have a child born on September 5th and a child born on September 12th. So, and a brother born on September 19th. So I always aware of
All right,
the September dates.
absolutely. I'll get more information around it. I mean, I can throw out the idea. Like, I think $250 for a year of advertising is not a fee anyway, and I think it's a great idea in terms of covering some of the costs. See if she's open for that.
yeah.
Okay. I think that's cool. And it is now like last 8:30, so I'll go. Thank you so much.
Continue time here. See you, everybody.